Darnell Hayes wiped the grease off his hands and glanced at the clock. 5:47 p.m. Time to pick up Marley. He locked the garage doors and walked to his truck. The engine coughed twice before it roared to life. Same sound. Every day. For 3 years now. Some men fear routine. Darnell clung to it, because routine meant no surprises. No chaos. No one leaving in the middle of the night without saying goodbye. That he pulled up to the school and saw Marley waiting by the fence. Backpack too big for her small frame. Braids bouncing as she ran toward him. Daddy. Hey, baby girl. He opened the door, and she climbed in, chattering about her day, before he even shifted into drive. Hi. Welcome to Pop Stories channel. Thanks for watching. Kindly tell me what country you're watching from. Marley talked about her art project. About the new girl who sat next to her. About how Mrs. Thompson said her handwriting was getting better. Darnell listened, nodded, smiled when he was supposed to. But his mind was somewhere else. That it always was this time of year. 4 years ago, everything fell apart. The woman he loved walked out. No fight. No warning. Just gone. He came home to an empty apartment and a note that said, "I can't do this anymore." That was it. No explanation. No second chance. Just silence. That he rebuilt after that. Found a job at Moe's Garage. Saved enough to rent a small house. Took custody of Marley when her mother didn't show up to court. That he became the father she needed. The one who didn't leave. And he promised himself he'd never let anyone hurt her the way he'd been hurt. They drove past the diner. Past the hardware store. Past the same streets he'd memorized by heart. Then he saw it, smoke, thick and dark, rising from the shoulder of the road about half a mile ahead. Marley leaned forward. "Daddy, what's that?" "I don't know, baby." "Sit back." He slowed down as they got closer. A black SUV sat crooked on the gravel. Hood popped open. Smoke pouring out like a dying breath. And standing next to it, hands on her hips, staring at the engine like it personally offended her. A cop, female. Tall. Uniform crisp despite the heat. That Darnell's first instinct was to keep driving. He wasn't the type to look for trouble, especially not with police, but Marley was watching, and he taught her to help people when they needed it. So he pulled over. "Stay in the truck," he said. "Okay, Daddy." He stepped out and walked toward the SUV. The officer didn't look up at first. She was focused. Frustrated. "Need a hand." Darnell called out. She turned, and the world stopped. Not because she was beautiful. Not because she was a cop. But because he knew her. But he knew the shape of her face. The way she stood. The exact angle of her jaw when she was stressed. His chest tightened. His breath caught to note it couldn't be. She pulled off her sunglasses, and those eyes, those same eyes that used to look at him like he was everything, locked onto his. Alara. The woman who destroyed him. The woman who left without a word. The woman he swore he'd never see again. She was standing right in front of him. And she looked just as shocked as he felt. That Marley's voice broke the silence. "Daddy? You okay?" He wasn't, but he nodded anyway. Because some wounds don't heal just because you survive them. They just wait. And now his past wasn't behind him anymore. It was standing 3 feet away, staring right back. What happens when the person who broke you shows up out of nowhere? Would you help them? Or drive away? Drop your answer below. Darnell stood frozen, 3 feet away from the woman who shattered him. Ilara Monroe. For years. For years of silence. For years of rebuilding. For years of pretending he was fine. And now she was here. On the side of the road. In a cop uniform. Staring at him like she'd seen a ghost. "Darnell," she said again. Softer this time. He didn't respond. His throat was tight. His hands were shaking. Marley called from the truck. "Daddy, is everything okay?" He forced himself to breathe. "Yeah, baby." "Stay there." Ilara glanced toward the truck. Her eyes landed on Marley. Something flickered across her face. Surprise. Maybe guilt. She looked back at Darnell. I didn't know you don't. His voice came out harder than he meant. Just don't. She closed her mouth. Nodded once. The silence between them was heavy, suffocating, but he could feel his heartbeat in his ears. His chest felt like it was caving in. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not today. Not ever that he came here to help a stranded cop. That's it. That's all this was supposed to be. But now everything was different. Ilara shifted her weight. Her hand went to her belt. A nervous habit. He remembered that he hated that he remembered. The engine overheated, she said quietly. Professional. Like they were strangers. Radiator shot. I called for a tow, but it's going to be a while. Darnell didn't answer. He just stared at her. She looked the same. Older maybe. Tired. But the same eyes. Same voice. Same everything. The same woman who walked out on him without a word. Marley giggled in the truck. She was playing with her toy. Innocent. Unaware, Ilara glanced at her again. She yours? Darnell's jaw tightened. Yeah. She's beautiful. He didn't want her compliments. He didn't want her here at all. But he couldn't leave. Not with Marley watching. Not when she taught her daughter to help people in need. Even when those people broke your heart. I can take a look, he said. His voice was flat. Emotionless. If you want, Ilara hesitated. You don't have to. I said I'd help. She stepped back. Let him move closer to the engine. He leaned over the hood. Smoke still rising. Coolant leaking onto the ground. He didn't need to look long. The radiator was done. Cracked straight through that you're not driving this anywhere, he said. I figured. Silence again. He wiped his hands on his jeans. Tried to focus. Tried to think about anything other than the fact that she was standing right next to him. But his mind was screaming. Why now? Why here? Why her? Marley's voice cut through. Daddy, can I come out? No, baby. Stay put. Ilara's eyes softened. She listens to you. Darnell didn't respond. She took a breath. Darnell, I don't. He stepped back. Away from the engine. Away from her. I'm not doing this. I wasn't trying to. I don't care what you were trying to do. His voice cracked. Just a little. But enough. Ilara looked down. Her hands clenched into fists. She didn't fight back. Didn't argue. She just stood there. Silent. Guilty. And that made it worse. Because part of him wanted her to fight. Wanted her to explain. Wanted her to give him a reason. But she didn't. She never did. Darnell turned toward his truck. Tow should be here soon. You'll be fine. Darnell, wait, he stopped. Didn't turn around. She hesitated. Then spoke quietly. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But thank you that he didn't answer. And he got in his truck. Marley looked at him. Who was that, Daddy? He started the engine. Nobody, baby. But as he drove away, he looked in the rear-view mirror. Ilara was still standing there. Watching him leave, just like he watched her leave 4 years ago. And the worst part, he still felt something. Would you walk away? Or stay and face the past? Let me know below. Darnell drove in silence. Marley hummed in the back seat, playing with her doll. Happy. Innocent. But Darnell's hands were gripping the wheel, so tight his knuckles turned white. His mind was somewhere else. 4 years ago. The apartment door closing. Her footsteps fading down the hallway. The silence that followed. That he blinked hard. Tried to push it away, but it was too late. The memories were back. Darnell, I can't do this anymore. Her voice. Shaking. But firm. He stood in the kitchen. Confused. Desperate. Can't do what? Talk to me. She wouldn't look at him. Just kept packing her bag. Ilara, please. Just tell me what's wrong. She stopped. Her hand on the zipper. Her back to him. That I'm not who you think I am. What does that even mean? She didn't answer. She just walked out. Darnell's chest tightened. He pulled into the driveway. Turned off the engine. Marley climbed out. Skipped toward the house. Daddy, can we have pizza tonight? He nodded. Yeah, baby. Go wash your hands. She ran inside. Darnell sat in the truck, staring at nothing. Why now? Why after all this time? He thought he was done with this. Done with her. Done with the hurt. But seeing her standing there, uniform, badge, same eyes, it all came rushing back. The pain, the confusion, the anger, and something worse. Hope that a small, stupid part of him that wondered if maybe, just maybe, she'd come back to explain that he hated that part of himself. She left you, man. Move on, that's what his brother told him. You can't keep waiting for someone who's not coming back. Darnell knew that. He did. But knowing didn't make it easier. He got out of the truck, walked inside. Marley was at the table, coloring. Daddy, look. I made you a picture. That he looked down. A stick figure family. Him. Her. A son in the corner. It's perfect, baby girl. She smiled. Can we hang it on the fridge? Of course. That he taped it up next to the others. Dozens of drawings. All for Marley. All reminders of the life he built. A life without Alara. A life that worked at SOY. Did seeing her make him feel like it was all falling apart again? Marley tugged his sleeve. Daddy, are you sad? He crouched down, looked her in the eyes. No, baby. I'm okay. You look sad. He forced a smile. Just tired. She hugged him. Tight. And for a moment, the weight lifted. This was what mattered. Marley. This life. This routine. Not the past. Not Alara. But then his phone buzzed. Unknown number. He stared at it. His gut told him not to answer. But his hand moved anyway. He swiped. Hello? Silence. Then her voice. Darnell, it's me. His blood went cold. I know you don't want to talk to me. I get it. But I need to explain. He didn't respond. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. His throat tightened. I left because I thought it was the only way to protect you. Protect me? His voice was hard. Bitter. From what? Silence. Alara. From what? She took a shaky breath. From me. The line went dead. Darnell stood frozen, phone in his hand, heart pounding. Marley called from the table. Daddy, who was that? He turned, looked at his daughter, his life, his everything. Nobody, baby. But that was a lie, because it wasn't nobody. That it was the woman who left him without a reason. And now she was saying she had one. That a reason she never told him. That a reason that made her walk away. And Darnell didn't know if he wanted to hear it, or if he could survive hearing it. Would you listen to someone who abandoned you? Or hang up and move on? Comment below. 2 days passed. Darnell didn't call back. He deleted the voicemail, blocked the number, tried to forget, but he couldn't. That I left because I thought it was the only way to protect you. The words looped in his head, over and over. Then on Thursday afternoon, she showed up at the garage. Darnell was under a Ford pickup when he heard the door open. That we're closing soon. He called out without looking. I know. That he froze. That voice. He rolled out from under the truck, stood up, wiped his hands. Alara stood in the doorway, out of uniform this time. Jeans, plain jacket, hands in her pockets. She looked nervous. What are you doing here? His voice was cold. That my SUVs at the impound lot. They said you could tow it here. Fix it. There's other mechanics. I know. Silence. She stepped inside, slowly, like she wasn't sure if she was allowed. I'm not asking you to forgive me, Darnell. I need help. And you're the best mechanic in town. That he wanted to say no, wanted to tell her to leave. But then Marley's voice came from the back office. Daddy, can I have a snack? Alara's eyes shifted toward the sound. Her face softened. Marley appeared in the doorway, juice box in hand. She stopped when she saw Alara. Oh, hi. Alara smiled. Small. Genuine. Hi. Marley tilted her head. You're the cop from the road. Yeah. I am. Is your car still broken? It is. Marley looked at Darnell. Daddy can fix it. He fixes everything. Alara's eyes stayed on him. I know he does. Darnell's jaw tightened. He didn't want this. Didn't want Marley around her. Didn't want to feel what he was feeling. But Marley was already walking closer. What's your name? Alara. I'm Marley. That's a pretty name. Marley grinned. My daddy picked it. Elara glanced at Darnell. Something flickered in her eyes. Regret. Pained that he looked away, Marley go back to the office. But Daddy, now her smile faded. She walked back without arguing. Darnell turned to Elara, his voice low. Don't talk to her. I wasn't trying to. I don't care. She doesn't need to know you. Elara nodded. Slow. Okay, she took a breath. So, will you fix it? He stared at her. Every part of him wanted to say no, but he thought about the bills. About Marley. About keeping the lights on. I'll tow it tomorrow. Parts will take a few days. Thank you, don't thank me. This is business, I know. She turned to leave. Stopped at the door. Darnell, he didn't look up. I meant what I said. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. His hands clenched. Then why'd you leave? She hesitated. Because staying would have hurt you more. That's not an answer. I know. She walked out. Darnell stood there, breathing hard. Fist tight. Marley peeked around the corner. Daddy? You okay? He forced a smile. Yeah, baby. I'm fine, but he wasn't. The next day, he towed the SUV to the garage. Elara came by to check on it. Quiet. Professional. Marley was there again, playing with her toys in the corner. Elara kept her distance. Didn't talk to her. Didn't push, but Marley noticed. Daddy, why doesn't she smile? I don't know, baby. She looks sad. Darnell didn't respond. Because Marley was right. Elara did look sad. And the worst part? He still cared. By the end of the week, the SUV was fixed. Elara came to pick it up. Paid in cash. Didn't ask questions. Thank you, she said. Darnell nodded. You're good to go. She hesitated. Keys in hand. Can I ask you something? Depends. Do you hate me? He looked at her. Really looked. Her eyes were tired. Worn. Like she'd been carrying something heavy for too long. I don't know, he said honestly. She nodded. Fair enough. She got in the SUV. Started the engine. Marley waved from the window. Bye, Elara. Elara waved back. A small, sad smile. Then she drove away. Darnell watched her go. And for the first time in 4 years, he wondered if he'd made a mistake. Not in helping her, but in letting her leave again. Would you let them back in? Or keep the walls up? Drop your thoughts. The garage was quiet, too quiet. Darnell sat on an old stool, wrench in hand, staring at nothing. Marley was asleep at home. His neighbor was watching her. He told her he had work to catch up on, but that was a lie. He just needed to think. The overhead light flickered, casting shadows on the walls. Cold air seeped through the cracks in the door. He could hear the hum of a town in the distance. Cars passing. A dog barking. Life moving on. But he felt stuck. He looked down at the wrench. Turned it over in his hands. This was his world now. Tools. Engines. Problems he could solve. But Elara wasn't a broken radiator. She wasn't something he could fix with his hands. He set the wrench down. Rubbed his face. Left because staying would have hurt you more. What did that even mean? How could leaving hurt less than staying? He remembered the night she left. Every detail. The way she packed her bag. The way she wouldn't look at him. The way the door clicked shut. He didn't cry that night. He just sat on the couch, staring at the door. Waiting. Waiting for her to come back. To say she made a mistake. To explain, but she never did. And after a while, he stopped waiting. He had to, because Marley needed him. And he couldn't fall apart. He rebuilt. Slowly. Piece by piece. He got the job at the garage. Rented the house. Learned how to braid hair. Learned how to cook more than just eggs. He became the man Marley needed. And he thought that was enough. But now he didn't know. The floorboards creaked under his weight as he stood. He walked to the workbench. Ran his hand along the edge. This place felt safe. Familiar, but tonight it felt empty. He thought about Marley. The way she smiled at Elara. The way she waved goodbye. She didn't know. She didn't know that Elara was the reason he stopped believing in people. The reason he built walls so high no one could climb them. And now those walls were cracking. He hated it. Hated that seeing her made him feel something. Hated that part of him wanted to know why she left. Hated that after 4 years, she still had this power over him. He sat back down. Stared at his hands, grease under his nails, calluses on his palms. These hands build a life. A good life. Oh, why did it feel like it wasn't enough anymore? His phone buzzed. He looked at it. Unknown number. Again. He stared at the screen, finger hovering over the answer button. He knew he shouldn't, but he did. What do you want, Lara? Silence. Then her voice. Soft. Broken. I wanted to hear your voice. He closed his eyes. Why are you doing this? Because I owe you the truth. You owed me the truth 4 years ago. I know. Silence. Darnell. I was scared. Of what? Of losing you. He laughed. Bitter. Hollow. So you left. I thought if I stayed, you'd see who I really was. And you'd leave me first. His throat tightened. So you left me instead. Yet that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. She didn't argue. Lara, you didn't just leave me. You disappeared. No call. No text. Nothing. You made me feel like I didn't matter. You mattered more than anything. Then why didn't you fight for me? Her voice cracked. Because I didn't think I deserved you. The line went quiet. Darnell's chest ached. I have to go, he said. Okay. He hung up, sat there in the cold garage. Alone, and for the first time in 4 years, he let himself cry. Not because he was weak, but because he was tired. Tired of pretending he was fine. Tired of carrying this weight. Tired of wondering what if. He wiped his face. Stood up. Locked the garage. Walked to his truck. The town was quiet now. Street lights glowing. Stars above. He drove home. Checked on Marley. She was curled up in bed. Safe. Peaceful. He kissed her forehead. Then he went to his room. Sat on the edge of the bed. And asked himself the question he'd been avoiding. Would he trust her again? Could you forgive someone who left without a word? Or is some damage too deep? Let me know. She didn't push. That was the strangest part. Lara started showing up. Not at his house. Not at odd hours. Just around at the diner on Tuesday mornings. Sitting 2 booths away. Coffee in hand. Never looking over the gas station on Thursday. Pumping gas into her SUV. A quiet nod when their eyes met. The park on Saturday. Sitting on a bench. Watching kids play. Not approaching, she was there. But not invasive, present. But not demanding, and it messed with Darnell's head. Because he didn't know what you wanted. Daddy, there's the cop lady again. Marley pointed across the park. Lara sat under a tree, reading a book. Darnell's jaw tightened. I see her. Can I say hi? No, why not? Because I said so. Marley frowned, but didn't argue. Darnell kept his eyes on her. On the swings. On anything but Lara. But he could feel her there, like a weight in the corner of his vision. After a few minutes, Marley tugged his sleeve. Daddy, I have to go to the bathroom. All right. Let's go. They walked toward the restrooms. Passed right by Lara's bench. She looked up. Met his eyes. No smile. No wave. Just acknowledgement. He nodded once. Kept walking. But his heart was pounding. It kept happening. She was at the grocery store. Buying cereal. 2 aisles over. At the post office. Mailing a package. Holding the door open as he walked the school drop-off. Her patrol car parked across the street. Watching traffic, never too close. Never too obvious. But always there. And Darnell hated how much he noticed. Hated how his eyes searched for her now. Hated how part of him wondered if she'd be there. One evening, Marley was drawing at the kitchen table. Daddy, why doesn't Lara talk to us? Darnell looked up from his phone. What? Lara. The cop lady. She's always around, but she never says hi. She's just doing her job, baby. But she looked sad. Darnell didn't respond. Marley kept coloring. I think she's lonely. Marley, can I draw her a picture? No, why not? Because that's not a reason. Darnell sighed. Set his phone down. Baby, Some people, they're not meant to be in our lives. But she helped us. You helped her. That means you're friends, right? It's not that simple. Why not? He didn't have an answer, at least not one a 7-year-old would understand. The next day, Darnell was at the garage, elbow deep in an engine. The door opened and he didn't look up. Be with you in a second. Take your time. His hands froze. He stood. Turned. Ilara stood in the doorway. Uniform on. Arms folded. What are you doing here? His voice was sharper than he meant. Flat tire. Can you fix it? There's a tire shop 2 blocks away. I know. Silence. She stepped inside. Slowly. Darnell, I'm not trying to make this harder. Then why do you keep showing up? Because I live here now. I work here. I can't just disappear. You did it before. Her face tightened. I know. He turned back to the engine. Bring the car around. I'll patch it. Thank you. He didn't respond. She walked out, and Darnell stood there. Fists clenched. Breathing hard, because this was torture, having her close but not close enough, seeing her, but not talking, feeling something, but not knowing what. 20 minutes later, he finished the tire. Ilara paid. Cash. No small talk, but as she walked to her car, Marley ran out from the back office. Wait. Ilara stopped. Turned. Marley held out a piece of paper. Folded in half. I made this for you. Ilara crouched down. Took it. Unfolded it. A drawing. 2 stick figures. One tall. One small. Both smiling. That's you and me, Marley said. Because I think you need a friend. Ilara's eyes went soft. Shiny. She looked at Marley. Then at Darnell. He didn't move. Didn't say anything. She folded the picture carefully. Tucked it in her pocket. Thank you, Marley. This is the nicest thing anyone's given me in a long time. Marley beamed. Ilara stood. Walked to her car. Drove away. Darnell watched her go. And for the first time, he didn't feel anger. He felt something worse. Curiosity. Would you keep your distance? Or let them closer? Tell me below. It happened on a Wednesday night. Darnell was closing up the garage. Lights off. Tools put away. He heard footsteps behind him. He turned. Ilara stood in the doorway. Out of uniform. Jacket zipped up. Hands in her pockets. We need to talk, she said. No. We don't. Darnell, please. I'm done, Ilara. Go home. She didn't move. I'm not leaving until you hear me out. He stared at her. Jaw tight. You don't get to do this. You don't get to show up and demand things from me. I'm not demanding. I'm asking. 4 years too late. I know. Silenced. He should have walked away. Locked the door. Left her standing there. But he didn't. Because part of him needed this. Needed to hear her say it. Whatever it was. He crossed his arms. Fine. Talk. She stepped inside. The door closed behind her. The garage felt smaller now. Colder. She took a breath. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. You already said that. I left because I was a coward. He didn't respond. She kept going. Voice steady but strained. I was dealing with things I didn't know how to handle. Things I didn't want you to see. Like what? She hesitated. My past. My family. Things I ran for my whole life. So you ran for me too. Yeah. His chest tightened. That's not fair, Ilara. I know. You don't just leave someone because you're scared. You talk to them. You let them help. I didn't think you'd understand. You didn't give me the chance. Her voice cracked. Because I didn't think I deserved you. Stop saying that. It's true, N.O. It's an excuse. She flinched. He stepped closer. You want to know what hurt the most? It wasn't that you left. It was that you didn't trust me enough to stay. I trusted you. Then why didn't you tell me? Because I thought you'd look at me different. So you made that choice for me. She nodded. Tears in her eyes. Yeah. I did. Silence. Darnell turned away. Hands on the workbench. Breathing hard. I loved you, Ilara. I would have fought for you. I would have stayed. I know, but you didn't let me. I know. He turned back. So why are you here now? She wiped her eyes. Because I need you to know the truth. even if it doesn't change anything. And what's the truth? That leaving you was the biggest mistake of my life. His throat went tight. I thought I was protecting you. But all I did was hurt you. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He wanted to yell. Wanted to tell her it wasn't enough. But he couldn't. Because he heard it in her voice. The regret. The pain. The truth. Why now? He asked quietly. Why come back after all this time? Because I got transferred here. And when I saw you on that road, I knew I couldn't run anymore. So what do you want from me? Nothing. Liar. She looked at him. Eyes red. Voice raw. I want you to forgive me. But I know I don't deserve it. He stared at her. This woman who broke him. This woman who left without a word. This woman who was standing in front of him now, asking for something he didn't know if he could give. I don't know if I can forgive you, he said. I understand, but I don't hate you either. She nodded and he exhaled. Slow. Heavy. I need time, okay. And I need space, okay. And if you hurt Marley, I won't. He looked her in the eyes. I mean it, Alara. She's my whole world. If you mess with that, we're done. Forever. I won't. I promise. That he nodded. She turned to leave. Stopped at the door. Darnell, yeah, thank you. For listening. That he didn't respond. She walked out into the night. And Darnell stood there. Alone. His mind spinning. His heart heavy. Because now he had a choice. Keep the walls up. Or let her try to earn her way back in. And he had no idea which one was right. Would you give someone a second chance after they broke you? Or is trust gone forever? Drop your answer. 3 weeks passed. Alara kept her distance. No more random appearances. No more calls. She gave him space. Like she promised. And Darnell didn't know how to feel about it. Part of him was relieved. Part of him missed seeing her. He hated that second part. Then everything changed on a Friday afternoon. Darnell was at the garage, working on Mrs. Peterson's van. The transmission was shot. His phone rang. Unknown number. He almost ignored it. But something told him to answer. Hello, Darnell, it's Captain Morris. From the sheriff's department. Darnell straightened. What's going on? We've got a situation. Multi-car pileup on Route 9. Fire department's on scene, but one of the vehicles is leaking fuel. We need it towed fast before it ignites. I'm on it. Good. Officer Monroe's coordinating the scene. She'll brief you when you get there. Darnell's stomach dropped. Alara. Understood. He hung up. Grabbed his keys. Radioed his tow truck driver. 20 minutes later, he pulled up to the scene. Chaos. 3 cars, tangled together. Glass everywhere. Smoke rising. People shouting. Firefighters spraying foam. Paramedics loading a stretcher. And, in the middle of it all, Alara, directing traffic. Calm. Focused. In control. She saw him. Waved him over. He parked. Got out. What do you need? He asked that sedan. She pointed. Fuel lines cracked. Leaking bad. We need it out of here, now. I got it. He moved fast. Hooked the chains. Secured the car. Alara stayed close. Watching. Coordinating. Their eyes met for a second. She nodded. Thank you. He didn't respond. Just worked. 10 minutes later, the car was loaded. Scene secured. Alara walked over. Exhausted. Face smudged with dirt. You good? She asked. Yeah, good work. He nodded. Started to leave. Darnell. He stopped. Turned. She hesitated. I heard from the captain. They're offering me a promotion. And he didn't know why she was telling him this. Congratulations, but it's in another county. Better pay. Better hours. His chest tightened. She was leaving, again. When do you go? He asked. She looked at him. Eyes steady. I'm not. He frowned. What? I turned it down. Silence. Why? She stepped closer. Because Marley drew me a picture. And it's the first time in 4 years I felt like I belong somewhere. His throat went dry. And because I'm tired of running, she said quietly. I spent my whole life running from things. And it never made anything better. Alara, I'm not asking for anything, Darnell. I just wanted you to know. I'm staying. Not for you. Not to pressure you. But because this town feels like home. And I don't want to leave again." She didn't know what to say. She wiped her hands on her pants. "Anyway, thanks for the help today." She walked back to her patrol car. Darnell stood there, watching her go, and for the first time he saw it. She wasn't the same woman who left him 4 years ago. She was different. Steadier. Stronger. And she'd just given up something big. For him. For Marley. For a chance to stay. That night, Marley was eating dinner. "Daddy, did you see Alara today?" He looked up. "Yeah. At work. Did she smile?" "A little." Marley grinned. "Good. I think she's sad too much." Darnell set down his fork. "Why do you like her so much, baby?" Marley shrugged. "I don't know. She just seems nice. And lonely. Like she needs a friend. She's got friends. But does she have us?" Darnell stared at his daughter. 7 years old. And somehow wiser than him. "I don't know, baby." "Well, I think she should." Marley went back to her food, humming, and Darnell sat there, thinking maybe Alara wasn't trying to force her way back in. Maybe she was just trying to prove she changed, and maybe, just maybe, she had. He pulled out his phone, stared at it, then typed a message. "Thank you for staying." He hit send before he could change his mind. 3 dots appeared. Then her response. "Thank you for giving me a reason to." He set the phone down, and for the first time in weeks, he felt something he didn't expect. Hope. Would you believe someone who gave up everything to prove they've changed? Let me know below. Winter came quietly. The mornings turned cold. Frost on the windows. Breath visible in the air, and slowly things began to shift. Alara started stopping by the garage. Not every day. Just sometimes. Bringing coffee. Asking if he needed help with anything. Staying only as long as he let her. A tea first. Darnell kept it short. Professional. Guarded. But Marley made that hard point one Saturday morning. Marley was at the garage, drawing at the workbench. Alara knocked on the door. "Morning," she said. 2 cups in hand. "Brought coffee." Darnell wiped his hands. "Thanks." She handed him one. Steam rising in the cold air. Marley looked up. "Hi, Alara." Alara smiled. "Hey, Marley. What ya drawing?" "A snowman." "Wanna see?" Alara walked over. Crouched down. "Wow. That's really good. Daddy says we can build a real one if it snows." "That sounds fun." Marley grinned. "You should come." Alara glanced at Darnell. "I don't want to intrude." "You wouldn't be intruding," Marley said. "Right, Daddy?" Darnell sipped his coffee. Slow. "If it snows, we'll see." Marley beamed. Alara stood. Gave him a small nod. Fair enough. She didn't push. Didn't assume. Just left it there, and Darnell appreciated that a week later, it snowed. Big, heavy flakes. Covering the ground in white. Marley ran outside the moment she woke up. "Daddy, it snowed." Darnell smiled. "I see that, baby. Can we build the snowman now? After breakfast, can we invite Alara?" He hesitated. Marley looked at him. Hopeful. Innocent. He sighed. "I'll text her." Marley squealed. Ran back inside. Darnell pulled out his phone. Typed slowly. "Marley wants to know if you're free. We're building a snowman. 3 dots. Then her reply. "I'd love to." "What time?" 11. "I'll be there." He put his phone away. Stared at the snow. This felt dangerous, letting her in. Even just a little, but Marley was happy. And maybe that was enough. Alara showed up at 11. Jeans. Thick jacket. Gloves. Marley ran to her. "You came." "Of course I did." They started rolling snow. Laughing. Marley directing every move. Darnell stood on the porch. Watching. Alara glanced over. "You just gonna supervise?" He smirked. "Someone's gotta make sure it's done, right, Doe? Is that how it is?" Marley giggled. "Come on, Daddy." He walked over. Helped lift the second snowball onto the base. Alara grabbed sticks for arms. Marley found rocks for eyes. They worked together. Quiet. Comfortable. And for a moment, it felt normal, like this was how it was supposed to be. Later, they sat on the porch, hot chocolate in hand. Marley inside watching cartoons. The sun was low. The snow glowed orange in the fading light. Ilara spoke first. "Thank you for letting me be here." Darnell didn't look at her. "Marley wanted you here, and you," he paused. "I'm trying." "I know." Silence. She sipped her drink. "I don't expect you to trust me right away." "Good. Because I don't, but I'll keep showing up. As long as you let me." He looked at her. "Why?" "Because you and Marley, you're the first thing I've cared about in a long time." His chest tightened. "I'm not asking you to forgive me," she said quietly. "I'm just asking for a chance to prove I'm not that person anymore." But he stared at the snow, at the snowman, at the life he built. "I don't know if I can do this again," he said. "I know. If you hurt her, I won't." "You hurt me." She nodded. "I did. And I'll spend the rest of my life making up for it. If you let me." He turned to her. "This isn't a second chance, Ilara. This is... I don't even know what this is. It's a start." He looked at her. Really looked. She wasn't lying. He could see it. "Okay," he said quietly. "A start." She smiled. Small. Real. And for the first time in 4 years, Darnell didn't feel the weight of the past crushing him. That he felt something lighter. Hope fragile. Uncertain. "But there, would you risk your peace for a chance at something real?" "Tell me." Below 3 months passed. Not in a blur. Not in chaos. Just steady. Darnell's mornings still started the same. Coffee. Marley's breakfast. The drive to school. But now sometimes Ilara was there, not every day. Not intrusively. Just present as she'd stop by the garage with lunch. Stay for 20 minutes. Talk about nothing important. She'd wave at Marley during school pickup. A small gesture. But Marley always waved back. That she'd text Darnell on slow nights. Asterisk, "How was your day?" And he'd answer. Short. Honest. Long yours. Same. It wasn't romance. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was two people learning how to exist in the same space again. And that was enough. One evening, Darnell was in the garage. Late. Fixing a stubborn engine. The door opened. Ilara stepped inside. Holding a bag. "Brought you dinner," she said. "Figured you haven't eaten." But he wiped his hands. "You didn't have to." "I know." She set the bag on the workbench. Pulled out a sandwich. Chips. Water. He stared at it. Then at her. "Thank you." She nodded. Turned to leave. "Ilara." She stopped. "Stay." She looked at him. Surprised. "Just for a minute." She nodded. Sat on the stool across from him. They ate in silence. The hum of the garage filling the space between them. After a while, she spoke. "Marley asked me something today." Darnell looked up. "What?" "She asked if I was her friend." His chest tightened. "What did you say?" "I said I hope." So he didn't respond. Ilara picked at her chips. "She said she wants me to come to her school play next week." "You don't have to." "I want to." Silence. "Darnell, I know I don't have a place in her life. Or yours. But if you let me, she already loves you." Ilara froze. "She talks about you all the time," he said quietly. "Asks when you're coming over. Draws you pictures." Ilara's eyes went shiny. "And that scares me," he admitted. "Because if you leave again, I won't." "You don't know that." "Yes, I do." He looked at her. "How?" "Because I know what I lost the first time. And I'm not losing it again." His throat went tight. She leaned forward. "I'm not asking you to love me, Darnell. I'm not asking for what we had. I'm just asking to be here. For Marley. For you. In whatever way you'll let me." He stared at the floor. Breathing slowed. "I don't trust easy anymore. I know. And I don't know if I can go back to how things were. I'm not asking you to." He looked up. "Then what are you asking?" "For a chance to build something new." Silence. He set down his sandwich. Stood. Walked to the window. Stared out at the dark street. Ilara stayed quiet. Let him think. After a long moment he spoke. "She really wants you at the play?" "Yeah." "What time?" 7. He turned. Looked at her. "We'll save you a seat." Her face softened. eyes glistening. Thank you. He nodded. She stood, walked to the door. Stop, Darnell. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I hope not, she smiled. Small. Real. Then she left. Darnell stood there, alone in the garage, the cold air, the smell of oil, the familiar hum of his world. But it didn't feel empty anymore. He thought about Marley, about the life he built, about the walls he put up to protect them both. And he realized something. Those walls kept them safe, but they also kept them alone. Maybe it was time to let someone in. Not all the way. Not yet. But enough. Enough to see if healing was possible. Enough to see if trust could grow back. Enough to see if some wounds, even the deepest ones, could close. Not overnight, but slowly. With patience. With care. With time. He locked the garage. Drove home. Marley was asleep when he got there. Curled up in bed. Safe. He kissed her forehead. Pulled the blanket over her shoulders. Then he sat on the edge of his bed, stared at his phone, and typed a message. Thank you. For not giving up. 3 dots. Then her reply. Thank you. For letting me try to set the phone down. And for the first time in 4 years, he didn't feel the weight of the past pulling him under. He felt something lighter, something fragile, something real. Hope, not the kind that promises perfection, but the kind that whispers, maybe. And sometimes maybe is enough. Some wounds don't close overnight, but some hearts learn to trust again. So here's my question for you. Would you take the risk? Would you let someone back into your life after they shattered you? Or are some betrayals too deep to forgive? Drop your answer in the comments below. I want to hear your story. Have you ever given someone a second chance? Did it work out or did you regret it? And if this story touched you, hit that like button and subscribe to Pop Stories channel for more real American stories about love, loss, redemption, and second chances. We post new stories every week. Thanks for watching, and remember, healing isn't about forgetting the pain. It's about choosing to believe in tomorrow anyway. I'll see you in the next one. Perfect. The call to action is strong, engaging, and encourages comments while promoting subscription.